Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Thunderstorm, the show where we talk about some topics, we have some fun times, we have some laughs, some tears.
Exclusively tears, actually. All I do is cry.
I prefer fears.
I've never had fun on this show. Move on.
Kaz has crippling depression and Sliv is thinking about the wrong show. He is thinking about our other awesome show, Thunderclub House of Horror. Check it out at the clicky thing on the video.
Jesus Christ, that is a fucking...
That was
a hell of a plug there.
Yeah,
very seamless.
Smooth like broken glass. Anyway, today we are going to be talking about some FPS games, but before we get started, I should introduce the people that are talking here today. The guests today.
Yes, your frontline workers. Tell your local government to each give us $4 an hour.
Just
actually,
$4.
period. $4. We can each buy a copy of Garfield Kart.
The greatest FPS.
Oh my god.
God, this is honestly the worst opening we have ever done. Why not leave me doing it?
Alright, should I give it a shot? Should I
that worked. I
take the reins? I thought it was fine. Alright, good.
Maybe you should take the reins.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Okay, so are we redoing the opening, or are we
that was an opening.
Okay, alright, wonderful.
Is it our opening?
Opening.
Nothing has cut. This whole thing is still in.
Jesus Christ.
Conversation.
Cats, the topic is FPS games. We're all very experienced with them. We're all, what? Oh.
I still haven't done that.
I just want $4, bro. That's all I came here for. I just want to monetize our channel and get $4.
And then it's done for good.
And then I'm out. That's just how it works.
You're just here for the money. I knew it.
Yep.
That is. You know what you can get for $4, right?
Yeah, Garfield Kart.
Garfield Kart.
Yeah, Garfield Kart.
Oh, really? Could I get Garfield Kart for $4?
Yeah,
it's almost
bro,
as if we made that joke.
Here.
Come on, move on.
Jesus Christ. Alright, yes, I am Kaznarius. I want $4. 1,000 subscribers, let's go. $4, all mine, and then I get the fuck out. With me. Wait, I'm not introducing anything. Somebody else do it!
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ. Also with us, the guy who introduced it but didn't say his name is Rin. Speak now.
Hi, I'm here.
Also with us is the guy who just repeats bad jokes, Sliv.
Who's there?
Well, you just spoke, so woot. And then lastly, we have the pork chopper, also speak.
Hello.
Wow. Incroyable. It worked so well. Let's get into our first topic, gentlemen.
Our only topic.
Well...
That could change.
I figure there are subtopics, okay? But fine, let's just fuck around with semantics, okay? I wanna know what everyone's favorite FPS game is.
I guess I'll start. My favorite would probably be Team Fortress 2. I've had the most hours played in that game, like even to this day. There's nothing that's quite beaten the hours I put into that game. It's an absolute blast to play, even to an extent today, minus the hacker problem. There's some major issues playing that game right now, in pretty much any mode, but honestly, no amount of hackers can really take away the memories I've had with that game still, and the experiences I had with that game that really have stuck with me even to today.
Man, I think something that really speaks for how much I love that fucking game is that I actually played the PS3 version of it for like probably several days, like on end. Like I loved the shit out of that game, and that was the worst version of it possible.
Didn't Gabe Newell say that was like the red-headed stepchild of the orange box?
literally,
PS3
yeah.
version was fucking terrible.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
yeah,
the
no,
one,
garbage.
The one good thing about the PS3 version, it's the only way to play vanilla TF2 now.
That's true.
That's because it never got fucking updated.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. But that's what I'm saying, is that's the only way to play vanilla TF2. If you want to play TF2 as it initially came out, the PS3 version would do it. Are the servers still working for that? I'm assuming no.
I know that there's something
Judging by the rest of the support for that game, I'm gonna say no.
Here's the thing, the Xbox 360 version definitely still is up. I know people have been playing it, and some people joke about going back to it because of all the hackers on PC.
True.
So it's possible that the PlayStation servers are still up and kicking around. I don't know how many people will be playing on them, but you never freaking know. You would
True.
think regular TF2 would die with all the lack of support going on with it, and it's still alive and kicking.
Gentlemen, I don't know what my fucking point was. I just said gentlemen, and I just didn't have a follow-up. Jesus Christ.
Good job.
Yep.
Applause. Everyone clap.
Thank you. Please clap.
Blow out the microphones, please.
Truly, it's great.
Whoever's editing this is gonna shit themselves.
Oh, that's you, Rin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's 100% you were in.
Yeah.
I'll just
Prepared to shit.
I'll get my laptop out and just edit on the toilet, I guess.
Yeah, TF2 is pretty good. I'm personally, I think for me it's Borderlands 2 I'd say had my favorite story and DLC and gameplay. Well, actually, I'd say 3 had probably the better gameplay, although I liked the characters in 2 more. I don't know. I found with 3 there wasn't really a character I liked in this game, as much as I liked Salvador, or the cast of 2 in general, actually. But yeah, man, Borderlands is so fun.
Yeah, I would probably put that as my favorite as well. But that's mostly because I'm not like a huge FPS fan, so I kind of enjoy the RPG mechanics in it a lot more. But no, those games are great. I've played probably 500 hours in that series total.
You know, I think a really good positive for that series is that it sort of feels like a gateway drug for people to get into FPSs that aren't really into them. Like with so many RPG elements, like it feels more accessible than a normal FPS, I'd say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it's
could.
a little bit more streamlined in that regard.
Mhm.
Yeah, and you can overpower the game just by having better stuff.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, can also be a flaw, but that loses it in the later playthroughs where all the enemies scale to you anyway, so...
And going back to Borderlands 2 versus 3, I think literally other than the gameplay and obviously the graphics and the lighting system, everything else about Borderlands 2 is way superior.
Yeah.
It's just a far better game in almost every regard.
Yeah, wow, yeah, not to mention that fucking horrid story in Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
Incredible choice of fucking music at the end.
I was literally about to bring
You
that up.
fucking legends. What is wrong with you?
I could think of like 3 songs that would have been way fucking better than that one.
As a greasy bastard who didn't finish Borderlands 3, being bored of it, what was the song?
Well,
This Girl is
Rin,
on Fire.
yeah, I was gonna say Rin put it here.
She's just a girl and she's on fire.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. Okay, I guess
don't play
we've A, all accepted that Rin's editing this, and B, yeah, right, we don't want to get copyright striked. But yeah, but what the fuck? You know, I think Borderlands was always really good with its soundtrack.
Yeah.
That fucking first opening of the first game is so fucking iconic. I think.
Yeah, Cage the elephant.
Every time I hear "No Rest for the Wicked," I immediately think of those fuckers on the bus, not really doing anything. Roland just kind of sits there and like hits the screen, but it is like to me is like fuck. How fucking old was I when I even played that game? Like 15? No. Sometime in high school. I forget. But as a kid, I thought that was the coolest shit ever. And then they pulled it off again with Borderlands 2, and that shit was pretty sick. And that's not even bringing up the villain in Borderlands 2, which is such a good villain that they used it for two other games.
Yeah, he was fucking great.
He's just so fucking good and fun and just a badass, honestly.
Don't use that word. Don't ever use that word.
Borderlands has sort of ruined the word badass, I think.
It has, for sure.
But, I think Borderlands 2 is certainly the peak, especially that last DLC.
Which last DLC? The last DLC from...
Sorry,
the
not the last...
DLC.
Tiny Tina's, which was...
Okay.
Which sort of, brought it full circle. It's a FPS shooter with RPG elements where you play through an RPG campaign. It's
like
kind
laughing.
It's fun when you think about it, and that whole DLC was actually very funny and relatively well written.
Creative.
Yeah. I don't know. See, Pork Chopper, you've constantly tried to get me back into Borderlands 3, but and the DLC is coming out, but man, I don't know what about that fucking campaign was, but it just left such a goddamn bad taste in my mouth that I am very reluctant to go and check the DLC. I probably will when it's all out, when it's all said and done. But yeah, I did not like that campaign. I fucking
feel like
the
first 2/3 were really, really good. It's really just it fell apart at the end, and that kind of kills some of the excitement around the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think there are a lot of good moments throughout the campaign. It's just, that last bit is really bad. They kill off characters that they really shouldn't have, and they make some characters way more important than they ever should have been.
Mm-hmm.
It was weird. What is with that child? I forgot their name.
Anne?
No, it's not Anne.
Ava?
It's not. Fucking forget. It doesn't matter. She's awful, and I hate her.
The kid Siren?
Yeah, the kid Siren.
Well, she's not Siren. Whatever. Fuck it.
Oh yeah, you know what I mean.
What the fuck is her name, Pork Chopper?
Wasn't it Ava? Is that not her name? Hold on, let me fucking look.
Who fucking cares?
It does not matter. She's shit, and I hate her.
Yeah,
Amara.
She was shoehorned into the story as a, and she was shoehorned in, and another great character that everyone loved from 2 was fucking deep sixed for character growth from this character that nobody likes.
I didn't even really get the character growth for her.
not
Honestly,
at all.
That happened, and then that character disappeared all the way till the last hour of the game.
Man,
it was really
for all of this fucking talk about FPSs, we are really going on about stories.
I don't know. We all like Borderlands gameplay.
Yeah.
What is there to comment about Borderlands gameplay outside of it's good?
It's really good.
It's not the best gunplay ever, but that's because it's an RPG shooter, not just a pure shooter.
Yeah.
But skill trees are really interesting. That's one thing that I think 3 did really well, is that all the skill trees are pretty cool, and you get through them really fast. That's a big issue in 2, is that it takes you forever to get through your skill tree. But in 3, you get through your skill tree quite fast, and you get to play around with a lot of cool tools, which is something that came from the pre-sequel that I'm glad they kept around.
Mm-hmm. Sliv, what is your favorite FPS?
Oh, that's a hard one. But since Since we don't really have too much time to be
Every time, every thunderstorm, you do a did.
Fuck.
I literally just thought that.
Say words.
say words, guns, first-person shooters, Call of Duty Black Ops 1.
Call of Duty Black Ops 1 is your favorite FPS?
I haven't played too many FPSs, but if I'm gonna go with a traditional FPS, I'm gonna have to go with Call of Duty Black Ops 1, man.
Which part of it?
All of it. It was just there for me, man. The story was fantastic.
I agree with that. It does have a pretty good story, yeah.
Delving deep into somebody's psyche, touching on the topic of sleeper agents and the Vietnam War era.
All the shit that game, the Black Ops series gets, that first game actually did a lot of different things for the series in terms of story.
I loved it.
Probably one of the most memorable, essentially title screens to any game I've ever played.
Oh, yeah.
Where you're in the chair.
The fucking... Yeah, that one fucking menu... the menu screen from Black Ops might be the most iconic menu screen ever. I'll put that out there.
And you can break out of the chair, walk around the room.
Certainly feels like the most memorable to me.
The numbers.
Yeah, not to mention the whole fucking numbers meme. Yeah.
You could play Zork on the title screen.
That's true.
It's the best game ever.
Yeah.
And that's why it's the best game ever.
I think you motherfucker. No, the thing I like about Black Ops is when I play that and when I play World at War, there's this sort of thing that Treyarch was doing where even though Call of Duty campaigns are they're pretty linear, and you can pretty much expect relatively the same gameplay for multiplayer in every game. Treyarch just kind of loved throwing extra shit into their games that was actually all pretty fun. There was the Dead Ops arcade thing.
Oh yeah, the dual stick shooter there.
Yeah, that wasn't necessary at all. Did that come with? Yeah, no, there was just no.
It came with it.
No, I was just thinking it had 2 zombies maps, I think, or 3 on release.
On release, it had
5. It had 5 in Kino,
3.
right?
It had 5 Kino and Dead Ops Arcade. They were all part of the zombies in there.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Dead Ops Arcade. Yeah.
Yeah. And it all, and then again, there's the fun of breaking out of the chair and just kind of walking around, and I don't know, the extra shit. It just kind of felt like there was so much more to that game. And now when you look at pretty much every Treyarch game and every modern or even Modern Warfare, it's all so streamlined. It's also I don't know, just fucking formulaic and basic. It's multiplayer, it's campaign, it's Warzone. You have 3 options. If you're looking for anything extra, you gotta pay for it. You can't find a secret mode in this game. It's just the game. There's no goodies. And which isn't to say games never do that, shit like that anymore. I feel like it's not just reflective of Call of Duty's right now. I think it's also sort of reflective of sort of games in general right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say everything you just said. That's more of just a modern game thing than a Call of Duty thing. But yeah, no, most games nowadays don't have secret codes or anything like that in it. It's all paid access stuff. They had to make everything easily accessible for everyone, so that everyone does all the content, so that people will pay more money to do stuff.
Yep.
That's true.
So just that style doesn't work with modern games anymore, which kind of sucks, obviously. At the same time, it is like probably a lot of those secrets you probably would never have found on your own. You would have looked it up online and saw that's a thing.
Yeah.
So nowadays, none of those would be that big a deal because as soon as you have it in the game, someone will find it within like a day and it'll be on the internet. And it's not really that big a surprise or a secret anymore. So whatever.
Yeah, although I do think it's an absolute travesty we don't have more games coming out with the classic FPS big head mode.
Big head mode is
Well, you know, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 had that.
Tony
That's
Hawk's
not bad.
Pro Skater 5 also had a 50 gig update on day one.
And it's my favorite FPS. Alright, Pork Chopper, go to the next game. Well,
Wait, actually,
you
one
already said
second.
it's Borderlands.
I do want to say one thing about Black Ops.
Oh, yeah.
Since we're still technically on that.
Yeah.
Black Ops is the only Call of Duty game I've actually purchased myself, and I've never purchased another one because I didn't like it. So get fucked.
I honestly thought you got it as a Christmas gift. I am actually shocked by that
I
information.
believe I you know what? I might have gotten it as Christmas. I can't remember. I might have bought it for myself though. But I definitely told someone to buy it for me if it was a Christmas gift. So, still kind of in that wheelhouse. But yeah, I've never bothered to get another Call of Duty because I do not like that. It is really boring.
This is why he convinces people to buy it for him.
I didn't convince. I mean, I did, but all I did was.
I am
yell
not
at
talking
your
about
phone.
this story on the podcast.
We're talking about this story on
No,
the podcast.
We're
It's
not
I am
talking
not.
about this story on the podcast.
I am not bringing this up.
next
Anyway.
time on.
No!
We're not there yet.
Pork Chopper, what is your favorite FPS?
Guys, you know exactly which game I'm gonna say. Call of Duty 4.
Yeah, okay. You mean SAS Secure Tomorrow?
No, I mean the actual Call of Duty.
Oh,
4.
okay.
Oh, for DS, right?
Yeah.
No.
That was a good one.
We
The best
The thing I liked about that game is, compared to all the modern iterations of Call of Duty, that game literally changed the entire game compared to the entries before it. Like the kill streaks, the end game, extra mission, the Mile High Club. There's just so much shit that completely changed everything. Bullets that would go through walls, which it had been done before, but not on that scale in such a big, more mainstream game. I would say, I would argue that compared to most first-person shooters from the last 3 generations, that's probably the most influential game that we've had. It was just a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, that was my first Call of Duty. And I loved it too, for sure.
Yeah, it was, such a,
Sorry, what were you gonna say?
it was such a big jump too from if you've played 3, it is a little bit difficult to go back to compared to 4 and afterwards. It's it's a completely different beast, and understandably they were going for a different direction, of course.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is I recently went back to Call of Duty 4, and it's still, obviously, other than visuals, the game still holds up. It still plays fantastic. The campaign is still great because it's still a little bit Michael Bay-ish, but it feels like the most grounded of the more modern Call of Duties. Yeah, no, I think they just nailed that game in pretty much every aspect.
Yeah, I remember I used to think the nuke scene was so cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
the
Oh
nuke
yeah,
is
we hadn't
horrific.
seen anything like that.
Sure, it's no Spec Ops The Line in terms of depicting the horrors of war, but that was the first time mainstream gaming was exposed to something of that magnitude.
Yeah, certainly.
And dude, you guys remember the first time you saw all gillied up, and the guy climbs out of the grass, and you're like, "What the fuck?" I didn't even know he was laying down there.
Yeah.
Or-
Fuck,
Oh,
I'll
cool.
Gillied Up is,
That's so
is still
cool.
my all-time favorite mission in the Call of Duty series.
Yeah. Now, something I was thinking about recently with that mission, the new Spec Ops mode in Modern Warfare, the reboot, I really don't like it, and I wish that for co-op they would just go to something like all Gillied Up and let you play like 2-player co-op with like this sniper sneaking kind of mission, right? Like a mix of all Gillied Up and the sniper assassin mode from Hitman, where you're like silently taking everybody out and shit. It'd just be so much more fun.
Yeah, I don't know. Spec Ops and COD 4, it just doesn't. Sorry, yeah, not Modern Warfare. It just, it just feels like a different fucking game. It actually, this is a weird thing to say, but it almost reminds me of a Borderlands where enemies are bullet sponges, and it obviously has a greater emphasis on like multiple like party members focusing on a single enemy, and like specializing in different things. It does. I feel like when COD tries to not be COD, that's like its worst. It's usually where the shit comes in. It's usually where the hiccups come in.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Yeah. You know, I've got a great question for all of you. What is your favorite gun in video games?
The Cerebral Bore
What is
from Turok 2.
Yeah.
So it's a gun,
it? Okay.
but when you fire at someone, it drills its way into their fucking head, and then once it hits their brain, it explodes.
Holy fuck.
It's the most metal gun, and it's amazing.
That's pretty sweet.
Personally speaking, I would be remiss, first off, to have a Thunderstorm on this, or a topic about FPSs on this channel and not bring up Doom in some capacity.
Yeah.
Considering how much
No,
we talk
yeah.
I know
about
where
this
this is
channel.
going.
But,
Depends.
Who couldn't?
yeah, it's a pistol, dude. Like, who doesn't like no. And there are two guns that are very good candidates in the Doom guy's arsenal, and one is the Super Shotgun, because it is such a satisfying weapon to use in Doom 2.
Yep.
But even more so, there's the BFG. For the
Big
sheer
fucking gun.
exactly, for the sheer amount of destruction you can cause and the amount of chaos you can cause with that gun, it is so much fun to use.
Yeah.
And it rewards, like, it really rewards knowing what you're doing with it, too.
Yeah. Yeah, this isn't my candidate, but, just as an aside, actually, I'll talk about that later. My favorite gun is Kazooie from Banjo-Tooie.
Yes.
I mean, she can fire like different kinds of eggs at enemies. Infinite fire eggs, if you know what you're doing. So, you know, it's a fucking flamethrower. Wonderful sound effects on the ears. Not annoying at all. It's also got a bayonet on it, just so you know. Crazy, right? Okay. And on top of that, you can fucking. Okay. Somebody's got to do the fucking calculations on like we need to have the Death Battle boys do some fucking calculations on how strong those fucking eggs are. Because you do some serious damage in Banjo-Tooie with a bunch of the eggs.
You know, I take mine back. My favorite gun is the coconut gun from Donkey Kong 64.
Oh, yeah!
Another excellent first-person shooter.
Is that the gun that fires in spurts?
Yeah, you know, if it shoots you, it's gonna hurt.
Hey, both of you.
Truly.
Unnamed guest, do you have a particular specified gun?
Not really. I don't play too many shooters, so I can't think of one off the top of my head, honestly. Most of the ones I play are single player anyway, so I generally like sniper rifles or SMGs, but I have nothing in particular.
What about Deagles?
Oh, well, of course, Deagles. They're so cool.
Yeah, hold up.
cool,
These are all our second favorite picks. Obviously, all of us would take a Deagle any fucking day of the week
Oh yeah.
over either, like, any of these picks. Duh. Who the fuck hasn't said theirs?
Good job.
You.
Okay, so I'm just gonna preface this with the game is not specifically a first-person shooter, but
That's
it is
fine.
a gun. All right.
People have said
Disqualified.
Donkey Kong 64 here. Go on.
Right. Okay, for me, it's gotta be the fucking portal gun. Because
Yeah.
that shit, like, blew my mind with the crazy puzzles and shit in those first two games. Like, I remember, like, spending hours racking my head around this one fucking puzzle in Portal 2 with the portal gun. Like, no gun has ever kind of had that effect on me, which is what it could do gameplay-wise.
Those were some fucking well-designed levels.
Yeah,
Oh.
man.
Portal 1 and 2 are great.
Mhm.
If only Valve would get over their fear and make a third one. That'd be great. Or made a real game. Jesus Christ. But anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does remind me. Another good weapon to mention, both in another Valve game as well as a lot of other shooters. Nothing quite beats the mechanics of being able to use a rocket launcher that is capable of rocket jumping.
Yeah, true.
I absolutely love rocket jumping in TF2, and that's easily the best example, like one of the most well-known examples, other than like Quake also has it, and tons of other games have it, of course. But it is so satisfying being able to get that perfect rocket jump off, or I used to be able to do the rollouts occasionally, and that was loads of fun because it adds that extra layer of like gunplay and movement together, and it is super satisfying to pull off. And of course, it's also super sick and satisfying to get that sick market garden off of a rocket jump and ruin someone's life and make them quit the game forever.
You know that rocket jumping is such a fucking awesome mechanic when they make a rocket launcher that specifically does no damage, that is used for rockets, exclusively for jumping.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's obviously kind of fucking awful to actually try and fucking hit someone with it, but
Oh yeah, it's disgusting.
yeah.
But so satisfying.
Fun as hell. Weirdly fun. I was going to touch on this earlier when you brought the super shotgun, but I think that a lot of when people think of like the best guns in games, they sort of miss the importance of sound design. And while everyone sort of thinks about, the BFG or the super shotgun, some of the best moments in Doom games are like at the beginning when you hear him cock that fucking shotgun so goddamn menacingly, both in the opening scenes of Doom 2016 and in the opening scene of Doom Eternal, just going straight from the intro into this fucking satisfying, like, and into metal music. It's sort of wonderful. And then in Doom Eternal, like the normal shotgun. I'm about to. I guess I could go on sort of a mini tangent on why I love Doom Eternal. The mini shotgun or the normal shotgun, even though I love using the super shotgun, the sticky grenade thing on that thing is so fucking wonderfully satisfying. It makes this little plink sound whenever you like stick like a weak point of the enemy. It is, or like, so you can have like an enemy with like a cannon on the top, and if you like hit it just right, you hear this wonderful plink explosion, and its weak point has been completely exposed, and the enemy, I don't know, hitting shots, and my point is, guns are really fucking cool when they sound good. My favorite gun in Warframe is the fucking Corinth, because of the sounds that goddamn thing makes. They're so fucking wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, no. The shots that the noises your gun makes when it shoots and when it reloads and stuff are all huge into making it actually feel cool. I've played games where, the shotgun doesn't, barely makes any noise when it fires, and it just feels like you're shooting, cotton candy at people, even though it is killing them. It does feel bad. No, sound design on guns is pretty huge.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think that's one of the areas where the average first-person shooters really progressed forward in the past couple generations of sound design. A lot of the guns these days sound incredible.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Fuck, even I don't like admitting I'm a fucking casual, but Modern Warfare sounds pretty fucking nice. I'll say that. It's still
it's another thing Classic Doom does really well. None of those guns sound bad. None of those guns sound quiet, or other than maybe the pistol doesn't sound like it's super powerful, but it's not supposed to. It's just supposed to sound like, the starting weapon. Every other weapon has really satisfying sound and very satisfying feedback, right down to when Doom Guy picks up the item and he makes that menacing sound.
Yeah.
It's just small stuff like that goes so much farther into leaving an impact with a weapon in a game. Or I hate to keep going back to TF2, but TF2 does a lot of it really well. The freaking grenades with the demo man. The satisfying pop sound.
Yeah.
Some of the stickies, and you get
shit,
that
even
really...
the shout, even the scout's scattergun. Shout Shattergun. The Scout Scattergun is it feels fucking nice to shoot. The more it's not even all that powerful, but hearing the shots and hearing the every time he reloads and that animation it fucking makes is really fun.
I'm still not really sure how that reload works. Are all his
fucking notes?
Are all his bullets in the scattergun, and he's just loading them into the chamber as he's pumping?
Don't think about it, bro.
Oh, what's his max ammo? Because
6?
that would be a lot of. No, that's I meant total.
Oh, you mean okay? The max ammo. Oh fuck.
Yeah, because if he's holding all the shells in it, because he doesn't put anything into the gun. So I have to assume that they're all in there.
Will bullets into existence, bro.
Every fucking pellet is just super small, or rather, every single bullet is just super small, bro.
No, there's just...
Except you actually see them coming out of the gun, so that's not true.
No, man, there's a localized black hole inside of the scanner.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes the most sense, so...
Yeah, Redmond, man, he's a genius, he just put it in there.
I mean, to be fair, TF2 has fucking weirder shit in its lore, so I'll take it.
I'll take it.
Yeah, no, I just looked it up. The Scout Scattergun it carries 32, and its ammo loaded is 6, so it has 38 shots inside of it at any given time, which feels a bit much for its size.
No, dude, that checks out. What are you talking about?
Unless there is just a teleporter inside the gun.
Yeah. There has to be.
I've done nothing but teleport bullets for 3 days. Actually, slightly hot take here. I think that one game that doesn't really nail that satisfaction down with its weapons is Overwatch.
I'll agree.
Ooh.
There are
I'd agree with that, actually.
That their weapons, even if they're doing a lot of damage, don't feel like it. There are obviously exceptions to that, but like so many times, like just off the top of my head, Genji, Hanzo, Diva.
Diva for sure.
Yeah, Diva's guns don't feel powerful at all.
Yeah. There are a lot of characters whose weapons don't feel powerful, even if they are, and then it kind of hurts some of the satisfaction of playing certain characters in a lot of ways. In my opinion. Like, there aren't many characters I can think of other than maybe not even Reaper, like, and he's basically dual-wielding shotguns. So, you would think that would be a super satisfying weapon set to use, but it's just not as satisfying as it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I never liked the sound of the guns in that game.
Honestly, I can't really think of any off the top of my head, which just goes to show that they're not all that memorable.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Or like,
Well,
who's ever been
yeah.
like, oh yeah, I love May's interesting and fun gunplay.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck you, May is Bay.
Okay, do you like May's interesting and fun gunplay, Sliv?
I also like her interesting and fun backstory that everyone thought was shit.
I fell asleep for too long, and everyone's dead. That's her
Yes.
backstory.
Yes. Her backstory is her backstory, and I liked it.
I mean, you're allowed to be wrong, so that's okay.
Yeah, it was one of the more boring shorts, but also not really important to the actual game of Overwatch, since those mean nothing.
I think, actually,
Yeah.
Soldier 76's rocket sounds cool. There we go.
Yeah, that one's okay.
That one's okay, but you can only use it every few seconds. For obvious reasons,
Yeah.
but... And he's just...
Why can't Soldier 76 rocket jump?
That'd be so
What
cool.
That would be pretty fucking cool.
'Cause it's Overwatch, and there is an ounce of good game design in that entire game.
Whew!
Oof.
That's a hot fucking take, my
Even
friend.
hotter
I mean,
than-
I admit I can't play Overwatch for more than an hour without getting bored, so there is something to that.
I've just never been one for Overwatch. I never liked it.
That's fair.
No, fair enough. I'm not like a huge fan of it either, as I, just
Well-
stated.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, Pork Chopper, you're not really into those sort of team-based hero shooters.
Well, no, see, that's not true. It just, I haven't come across one that feels good. Like, the only sort of hero shooter, it's not even really a hero shooter, but one that feels good would be Rainbow Six, where each character is like their own special class and all that shit. It's kind of a hero shooter, but I don't like the feel of the rest of them, that's why I don't play them.
Hmm.
I mean,
Like,
it
I've been
does...
looking at Valorant, and I don't know what to think about it.
I have some very negative opinions of Valorant.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So you have some, or you've heard some?
I have some, but it's mostly in the DRM and anti-cheat with that game.
Okay, so, yeah.
No,
DRM.
I think it's actually worth addressing because I was actually going to mention, for the same reason. I mean, it only makes sense to bring it up in the FPS podcast that I have recently made a whole video saying Doom Eternal is my favorite game of the year, and then they just go and shit the bed entirely. And spectacularly. And I don't think there has been any kind of damage control. And they're just...
No, if you're talking about the anti-cheat, I think they
Yeah.
removed it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
have
they
a
have
bit
a
of anti-cheat.
When did that happen?
I don't know, like a week ago or so?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
A week ago.
I've been
on this
busy watching
recording.
my Irish friend review, edit a whole video. During that whole time period. So
It was just a few really bad days, and they were like, nah, fuck it, we gotta take this shit out.
yeah. Anyway,
the only move they can
what
make.
were you mentioning, Rin?
What were we talking about?
When you were mentioning Valorant and its DRM.
Ah, I'd mentioned that,
Anti-cheat.
yeah. God, what were... Oh, I was gonna shift topics a little bit. It is
That's
really,
fine.
yeah. It really does say something for the FPS genre that there is something in it for everyone. There's, the classic like kill 'em all kind of shooters. There's the arena shooters. There's the team-based
Hero
games,
shooters,
hero
yeah.
shooters.
Team-based, yeah.
There's shooters with RPG elements. There's shooters that are roguelikes where it's completely random. There's so much variety within the one genre that I think no other genre really truly matches up with, in my opinion.
Yeah, sorry, and just as a side, there's also obviously puzzle shooters like Portal, as we mentioned, but there's another game, if possible, that I think everyone should check out called Antichamber. That's sort of it's sort of like Portal.
I would beat the Antichamber.
Yeah, okay.
But have you actually played it and beaten it?
I played through most of it. I think I got stuck near the end.
I have that. I haven't played it yet.
The first time I played it, I reached a puzzle that I thought was necessary for completion, and that puzzle was glitched as fuck, and I couldn't do it, so I stopped playing it at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Years later, I went back to it and I finished the whole thing, and apparently that puzzle was not necessary for finishing it, because it was still glitched, and I don't know what was wrong with it. Fuck that puzzle. It was interesting. It does a lot of, like, weird, not normal geometry and shit.
Yep.
Which is cool, but it's barely a shooter. It's just a first-person puzzle thing.
Yeah. That's true.
There is no shooting, really. You create blocks with, I guess, a gun, but not really. It is still really cool, and if you want, like, a weird mind trip puzzle thing, it's definitely worth checking out.
Another puzzle shooter that I'd recommend here would be Super Hot.
Super Hot
I've
is
been
pretty
playing that
cool.
for a long time.
And Super Hot in VR.
That's really a puzzle shooter. Yeah.
Oh, I haven't tried Super Hot in VR. I'd like to one day when I nut
man.
up and buy a Valve Index or
Yeah, I've got an Oculus Rift, and Super Hot's pretty sick.
You mean Oculus Vive?
Get the fuck out of here.
I haven't played, like, Super Hot's official release, but I played, like, its first, like, demo thing online that was completely free online. That was really cool, and I have been meaning to actually play the real Super Hot that's come out and I had to pay for, and I don't want to.
It's worth it.
Yeah, maybe the next
goes on sale.
Yeah, probably next sale it'll go on sale and I'll pick it up then. Who knows?
No, man, just check the Epic Store. If it's on the Epic Store, it's on them.
Anthony, don't advocate for that.
We don't endorse piracy here.
Wink, wink.
You know what would be cool, and I don't know if there's any games that did this, and it's a free idea pro bono. What about a rhythm-based FPS?
I want to say there is one.
Beat Saber is the closest thing.
No. In VR, I think is it Harmonix that made a rhythm-based shooter?
Because I think there's a lot of potential in that, where you could move to the beat or like shoot to the beat, kind of like, you could either have it similar to, like, obviously not exactly the same, but Crypt of the Necrodancer comes up with a similar idea in a different genre.
Yeah,
That could be really cool if it hasn't been done.
could be neat.
Yeah, Harmonix made a game called Audica. It's a rhythm shooter for VR.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
No Bono required.
No Bono required.
Yeah, I remember when this game was coming out. It looked pretty sweet. I have not played it yet.
You have to get back to us on that. None of
So
us have VR shit. It's up to you.
bullets per minute. And I think that's a rhythm FPS.
No, it's Bono per minute.
Bono
per minute. That's a lot of Bono.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Irish and I'm a wee Bono.
Okay.
What?
Oh man, what are you gonna tell us all about the new video that's coming out tomorrow, bro?
No, I don't know about the next video.
You're fucking
Why are you
making-
saying tomorrow? This video comes out after that video.
Oh god.
I'm just Bono. I've lost me pot of gold.
Man,
This joke is
this
true.
joke has died, come back from the dead, and died again.
By the way, I just realized there's actually another rhythm shooter called Pistol Whip with a really, really cool art style.
I mean,
So we killed Bono.
we killed
Yeah.
Bono.
Alright, does anyone have any to our FPS?
Yeah, I got a little bit more to go. We
Yeah.
should probably start wrapping up soon.
Just wondering,
I mean,
yeah, what's our time
3 hour
like?
podcast.
We're at almost 54 minutes now total
Okay.
recording, but there was some of that where we weren't recording yet.
Yeah.
It would be cool to talk about some underrated FPS games we played, because everyone knows about the Dooms and the Wolfensteins and the Call of Duties and all that, and Borderlands.
It's true.
But like, I think there are a lot of other cool FPSs out there that people generally don't really look at, or like don't really get the same kind of attention. Like, in my opinion, I really loved Call of War as Gunslinger.
It's a good game.
I really loved that game, and a lot of it stuck with me. It's not like one of my favorite games of all time, but I really do enjoy that game, and it has a really fun gunplay, in my opinion.
True.
And it's really cheap because when it goes on sale, it's like $2.
Let's see, good FPS. The Conduit for Wii.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That game is good. I don't think I got to play the second one. I don't know if that one was as good. But the first one I did actually really enjoy, as I only had a Wii at that time.
Yeah, and I've heard that, like, especially for a Wii first-person shooter, that game's really fun.
Honestly, the Wii wasn't like that bad for first-person shooters. The pointer control could actually be pretty fun at times. It's just any kind of waggle stuff was awful.
Mhm.
But,
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you, Cats. I'm actually struggling to find an underrated indie or, underrated FPS of any kind that I liked. I backed Strafe,
That
which
went well.
I thought would be a really good idea for some reason. Yeah, Strafe was not it, man. It was not it at all.
I still have your PS4 copy in my house unopened.
Yeah, thanks for that gift, by the way, Pork Chopper.
Yeah, what?
So yeah, fun fact on that. So Strafe comes out, and I get my code for the PC. Sorry, Mac rather, because I gamed on Mac because
I'm an idiot.
I guess I licked ballsack for a while in my life. And I played it, and it ran horribly on my really, really, really good Mac. So the game was clearly not fucking optimized for it. And so I'm like, okay, well, fuck it. I really want to play this game. I've been really excited for it. So I just immediately fucking bought it on PS4. And then this motherfucker tells me that he got it for me for my birthday, physical copy,
Yeah.
right after I fucking buy it. So I now officially own 3 copies of Strafe.
Although one of them is a bit in my
It's currently at
like
an unknown
4
guest's
years.
house, collecting dust, probably
unopened.
festering. Yeah.
I've never bothered to, you
Yeah.
told me that I could open it and play it if I wanted to,
Yeah.
but I never bothered to.
No.
I will say that case looked fucking sweet.
Yeah, I'm so fucking bothered by that game. I was so into the fucking 90s shooters aesthetic and the fucking artwork.
Remember the
And
trailer?
the trailer. Whew. What a fucking sell. It just gave me all the right vibes that like the fucking the creators of it just owned their identity as this just fuck you balls to the wall shooter. And unfortunately, what came out was very mediocre and difficult for all the wrong reasons. Like, for example, there would just be health stations. So first of all, it's completely randomly generated. It's an FPS roguelike, essentially. And every level has a health recharge station. Except sometimes just the recharge station does not give you full health. It's just completely varying for no fucking reason. It could just be 25% health. It could be 100% health. And you take damage in that game for the stupidest shit. And I made a video about all the fucking glitches I found. And when I came back to it, I found most of them again, and that was years later. So again, guys, I do not have an indie or underrated fucking FPS game to talk about. However, I do have one that you should probably fucking stay away from, and that's Strafe. Go play Doom.
Cool. Anyone else?
How about
You
you,
motherfuckers.
Name guess, do you have one?
I already said mine. Mine was the Conduit.
Oh, for fuck's sake, yeah, you did.
Jesus Christ. Get with the program. Listen.
I changed my mind. My favorite underrated game, first-person shooter, is Pokemon Snap.
Technically not wrong.
Yes.
You can inflict. Listen to me for a second.
Shoot.
You can inflict harm upon the creatures with the items you are given that you throw at them with a first-person reticle.
Peter's gonna shit.
What?
Peter.
Peter. It's gonna shit.
My favorite underrated first-person gem is Bug Bumble.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, God,
It's a third-person action game, you dipshit.
Yeah, but you can go into first person in it.
There's a lot of games you can go into first person that you can't. That's not a first person
Oh
shooter.
my god.
Jesus.
Oh
God,
yeah,
man.
Zelda Ocarina of Time, my favorite first-person shooter.
Technically go first person when you aim the bow or the slingshot. Now we're just opening it up too far. God damn it, Sliver. Jesus. Ugh.
I got one actually.
Okay.
Have you guys ever played Singularity?
I have not.
No, I
Do
haven't
you
heard
guys
of
know
it.
what it is?
Yeah, that's
I
one where
forget.
you do limited time travel. Like you go to the past to move stuff, or you fast forward stuff in time. I believe.
Yeah, so you've got this this time. What the fuck did it? Let me look this up.
You have a time
they
thingy,
call
okay.
The time manipulation device. Basically, you have this fucking fancy glove with a little orange orb on it. And when you aim at something, like say it's a chair or a staircase, if the staircase, for example, is broken and from 200 years ago, you can manipulate it back in time so that it actually fixes itself. And then something that's good, you can manipulate it into the future when it falls apart, right? Like you can do crazy shit like that. But it was a really cool game. It had a lot of BioShock vibes to it, which was really cool. But no one fucking played it because it wasn't, there was Call of Duty and Battlefield and all these big games coming out. Like this was 2010. Like no one was looking at this game, but it was so good.
The one thing I remember hearing about Singularity is that it missed some opportunities with what it presented. Like, it had a really cool premise with the controlling time thing, and it just didn't go as far as it should have.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. They could have gone a lot farther, which is why I wish it got a sequel, because they could have fucking done that. But yeah, no, they definitely... It wasn't perfect. They could have gone a lot farther.
It is kind of crazy that none of us mentioned BioShock, and those games
Yeah.
are amazing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm surprised no one's mentioned BioShock.
I mean, it's not
I
really an
wouldn't say they're
underrated fucking game.
No,
yeah.
I meant in the entire fucking podcast, not
yeah.
just
Oh, yeah.
this last section.
Okay.
Oh man, BioShock. I've never finished the first one because I played the second one first, and it's really hard to go back to having to swap between guns and plastids.
Hmm.
Is that what they were called? I think that's what they were called.
Yeah.
Plasmid.
Plasmid. That was it.
Wrong game.
Yeah.
Oh
wrong
god.
game.
It's
Yeah,
Warframe. It's Warframe over again.
No. But yeah, no. That going back between those is really annoying, and I was also spoiled on the entire story of the first one, so I don't even have that motivation to get through it, which is unfortunate.
Yeah,
but the
and would
second
you
one
kindly
is great.
not fucking tell the spoilers to the rest of our audience?
I didn't say them. Did I say them at all? No.
I'm just making sure you don't
Would you kindly go fuck yourself?
copy that, bro.
But yeah, no. 2 was great. Infinite, like, it was fun for one playthrough, but its story is terrible and I hate it.
Fuck on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bioshock Infinite would probably be an example of an overrated gem slightly, but I've heard it's good.
It's like overall gameplay and just running through the campaign and stuff is decently fun. A lot of people like talk about its story being amazing or something when it's kind of bad, and I didn't understand why people liked it so much. Really, the one I like the most is Bioshock 2. That game was super fun. Like all the gameplay stuff in it is great. I barely remember the plot, but it was okay.
True.
Anyone else play those games?
Played through a bit of 2, played through all of Infinite, played through none of 1.
I played through all of 1 and all of Infinite. They were good. I liked them.
I've been through most of the first one.
Yeah, I played most of the first, like an hour of the second, and like 3 hours of Infinite. I just never went back to them. I wish I did.
Can't believe it.
Enjoyed all of them, but yeah.
Speaking of first-person shooters, we haven't talked about. What about the Fallout games, the first-person ones, of course.
I
None of them.
dislike all of them.
Yeah, they're okay.
I like New Vegas a lot, but the other ones
I-
are kind of a
I will say New
Never
Vegas
could be
was
fucked.
New Vegas was my favorite of them, but I don't really like any of them.
They all have some pretty hefty issues.
I would say if we're talking vanilla Fallout games, they're not that great. But if you're talking like with a few mods to improve quality of life, they're fucking incredible.
Yeah, most of them need quality of life improvements, and then
Yeah, like all Bethesda games.
and then the best quality of life improvement for playing 76 is just to uninstall it if you haven't installed. Sorry,
Yeah.
Todd.
By the way, how the fuck is that game not gone free to play?
Yeah, that is really weird.
Like they added microtransactions, a subscription, and now they're doing a fucking battle pass on top of that.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
I like when they first announced the subscription for 76 because someone immediately took the domain for like the page for it.
Oh yeah.
And like it was just a whole page shitting on 76 and how bad it is.
It was such a bad proposition. Hey, remember all those features that we promised you were coming? Now they're here and you can pay for them every month. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, that's really scummy.
Who could ever forget the famous line at E3 2019 where he said the line, "That's right, we put a battle royale in Fallout 76."
And who can forget that memorable line he said at E3 2018 where he said, fuck.
And who could forget the Fallout boys at E3 2019, where both of those motherfuckers looked like they'd never given a presentation in their life. If I remember correctly, one of them on stage could not stop messing around with their hands, or like they had them to their sides really awkwardly. They looked like the two biggest dorks they could have possibly had on stage. They looked so uncomfortable. I'm going to find the clip for Rin to put here. But watching these two goofs present this game, for some reason I was incredibly hyper-focused on where they were putting their fucking hands. It was really strange. It was really awkward. pick a place for your hands to be.
Especially when you compare them to, because that's one thing Todd Howard does.
Big Daddy
really
Todd
well.
came out right after and showed those motherfuckers how to do their goddamn job.
Yeah, like Todd's got to be one of the best salesmen in the industry. That guy can talk like fucking nobody's business. Like when he said Fallout 3 had over 200.
75% of what he says is giant fucking lies. But
yeah, literally,
he can
that's what I'm
talk.
saying.
He can certainly talk quite a bit.
Yeah.
I think that.
Good note. Good note, Dad. On.
Yeah.
Yeah, shitting on Todd. Great note, Dad.
Great note,
Go with
Dad. We
that.
should end every podcast like this.
Truly.
Since we've just shat on Todd for not making his first-person shooter free-to-play, this month on PS Plus, you can too get 2 free FPS games. Totally on topic here.
Why are
World
you
War
shilling
II
PlayStation?
and
Why are
and
we showing for free?
Bad Battlefront 2.
Hold
Why
on.
not? Maybe you can find it
Hold
there.
on. Why?
And you can get Raid Shadow Legends right now for the Raid PS phone.
Please,
Are
no.
those games even going to be on PS Plus when this game,
they-
when this video comes out?
Yes,
Yeah.
it will.
Okay.
They're
Oh, okay,
the
okay.
PS Plus games for June.
Okay, I didn't know
Battlefront
what you
and Odd
were
World
talking
War II. See us there, or don't.
Why did you just like?
Or
Why are you
no.
advertising for Sony for free?
Well, I mean, it's a joke advertisement because he didn't.
I mean, I thought it was pretty funny.
You... How are we gonna get our $4 if we keep
Pay
doing
us,
this?
Sony. Fucking pay us.
Yes, Sony. Like I did this for you. Now do something for me.
Well, on that note, as always, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, okay, we can end it here.
You
You know, a
Uh,
pleasure is really, really stretching it, my friend.
Really, this has been awful, and I hate
Been
this entire process. Anyway, comment below with any topic ideas you would want us to talk about, because we're terrible at coming up with them, apparently.
Oh, 110%. You can also follow us on Twitter at Thunderclub, THNDR. Club at the twitter.co.
Put the link in the description. Don't worry.
Yeah, link will be in the description. Also, if you like what you see, give us a like. If you hate us, you can do whatever you want. Also, subscribe for more content. We got lots more to come, and it's going to be a lot more organized than this mess. As always,
Never will.
No fucking promises. Later, Caps.
later, cats. This is Rin.
And
I'm
Caps Narius.
Fuck.
And
Bruh.
Say your name.
Upper.
there we go. And this has been
so
another
bad.
Thunderstorm, and we're out of here.